What's up, everybody? This is Ripples in Wales back for another video. I hope you're all doing well and having a great day wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing. Well, good morning to you all. It's Sunday. Sorry, got a day wrong there. I should know that better. I'm in my running gear, about to head out for a run, so it's got to be Sunday. Anyhow, so there's a lot going on in the world. You hear me say a lot lately in my videos, or the openings, the intros of my videos, because geopolitically there's an incredible amount going on. And I said in one of the other videos that I made that I felt like the timelines would be condensed, concertinaed, sped up. And I really feel like that's going on now. The escalation of certain conflicts in certain countries is intensified, and others it's begun, and you can see how there is a speeding up of events. Now, before we go on, this is my Twitter channel at Ripples in Wales. Come and give us a follow on here. Now, past few days we've seen the conflict in Israel and Palestine kick off, which is very sad to see. It's something that's been ongoing for many years, and I can just smell the kind of the perpetrators around this, the same perpetrators around the same people who are pushing the Ukraine conflict, the same old candidates, the same old lines. And I bring this video, this image up for you today, so that you can see where my thinking's at. This was dropped to us a while back by our dear friend Ross Vandermeer, formerly known as Marvin Gaye. And it gave you an understanding of who the handlers were for a long time on the planet. We can see the usual suspects. As my mouse is going around them, I have to be careful what I say. Certain people are being cancelled in our industry of late. You know who I'm talking about, DAI and things. And I am cutting way closer to the line than DAI is in my videos, and so I've got to be equally careful. Now, these handlers in here, plus their puppets, who we see in mainstream positions, are doing the de facto bad deeds for their masters. And you can see in the center of the picture here the DS and its control of all these enormous entities, with that little one in the middle there, SWIFT, and all these central banks. This is what it's all about. Everything is about this. It's the fight of the world monetary system and the rolling over of the old guard. That's how we'll put it for this video. We can see how the British lot were involved. We can see how let's put it, I won't even say that word. We'll see how that lot were involved if you just follow my mouse cursor. And the Rothschilds family, well, we've spoken enough about them before, how they are implicitly involved. Anywho, the same old candidates behind the same old dirty tricks, profiteering from war, sadly. I hope this will come to a swift head. I had a feeling things would escalate. We've also got on the other side of things, on a less positive note, with the whole nuclear story in the main, in the UK we call them the rags, which refers to the newspapers and the old MSM voice pieces pushing out fear. Now, we knew this was going to occur. We knew that they were going to ramp up their old usual games. I had a funny feeling this would be the case when I looked at the old, this image here by BG123, which showed an enormous storm in April. And I knew this wouldn't occur until this scene would be complete. As I've said to you many times before, this scene here is where we're at currently. And, you know, the level playing field is where I believe we're at right now. I don't know. Like I say in every video, I'm learning like you guys. But I'm pretty certain we're in this scene still, and we might be for some time yet. We don't know. But anyway, when it's all finished, this is what the ship comes out of, which is a bloody big storm. And the storm is, it's many different things. It's the geopolitical stuff. It's the change of guard. It's the populism. It's the social unrest. It's the banking system failures. It's the bonds going out of the stratosphere. You know, I'm not a data analyst in the markets, but I can see what the smart people are trying to tell us all. Anyhow, this is what the storm indicates. Now I'll come back to that picture after. So we can see the major events that are occurring in the world right now. To these two situations are putting a lot of fear in the markets, and meanwhile, we've got the other markets are probably on the edge of a cliff. Yeah, I know it's probably kind of slight sad talking about the markets when all that stuff is going on, but we're in this to talk about cryptocurrency. I wish every person involved in these conflicts a safe passage through time, and I wish it a speedy ending with a peaceful resolution at the end. I am not into war at all. Anyway, the idea of us covering that is simply to say we knew that there would be massive change structurally on the planet, and there are certain countries that are involved in that are pivotal to this change, I believe. We were given many clues by this and by other pictures by Ross Van Der Meer and Marvin Gaye. Anyhow, while we're on that, I noticed the other day that Mr. Intuitive posted one of the early pictures of these two scenes, and it was the early picture of this. Now this is one of the best pictures of all. This predated the one that Mr. Intuitive posted up, and it is the best yet. I've got to credit Reborn13 for this. He was the one that dug these out. Very, very good researcher. And this is one of the more interesting ones. It shows the same old lot in the center. If you look into the center of the wheel here, which are the same old lot as here. Yeah, look at the triangle has three sides, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm just using that as a metaphor. There are many more bits to this. But you can see how this circle has enslaved the monetary system by using gold in these offshore islands. I know these places very well. We've got the Isle of Man. We've got, I believe that is Guernsey. I believe that is Andorra. I believe that is that Gibraltar, and that is Iceland, I believe. Forgotten what you are. Anyhow, someone in the comments will be able to correct me. I probably got them all wrong, in fact. It's too early on a Sunday morning and I need more coffee. Speaking of which, please allow me some time for some coffee here. Right, old power, old and new power, slaves and new era. Okay, the slaves are the people tied in the middle, in the circle, yeah, which is us. Yeah. On the scales here, they've got Bitcoin tied to gold with the Illuminati people in the middle. Now that was interesting. You see, even back then they were pegging gold, Bitcoin as the gold 2.0. You can kind of sense that in the scales image. And we've got the battle, okay, through this series of entities and through this to this. So Bitcoin and XRP. This is the battle of dark to light. It might not seem it, but it kind of is, and it equals gold. And in this scene, so XRP is less than Bitcoin, which is equal to gold. And that's what they are thinking. But this is where the battle is. You see, this is the conflict. And this is why we're seeing massive conflict against this asset. Anyway, I digress. Just a couple of little things that I've picked up the past few days is that, Foyak, if I pronounce his handle correctly, is showing you these beautiful little chrysalises coming out in the middle of spring. They've got a cracking little timeline here. I believe there's Mr. Poole images, and Mr. Irrington had posted that the crypto spring or venture capital spring is here. So, in many ways they were interesting. So this was a Mr. Poole picture, I believe, back in the day, or that's a stock image. There's Mr. Poole and Mr. Irrington, and the reset is basically complete. Interesting. So little things that are popping up on our timeline. Don't want to unfollow them. Right, other little things to look at is the market is rather stable. It's pinching at 27.9 for Bitcoin, 1.6. I think Ethereum's going to tank. I've been listening to a lot of people talk about the BTC ETH price comparisons. They are looking rather spicy right now. and XRP is still sitting at a very modest 52 cents, which is an absolute bloody steal. When these flywheels begin to take effect and people realize that Ripple's main job is the internet of value, okay, and the tokenization of assets on its chain, the demand for it is going to go ballistic, in my humble opinion. Over the next 3 years, once this crazy one next year, 2024, is out of the way, we will begin the climbs up to higher latitudes with the adoption for XRP. And it's about the adoption. It's about the use of it and the utility by these huge organizations. I'm seeing massive marketing pushes currently by R3 and by Swift. I posted yesterday that I thought we're going to cover 3-day DAI in a minute. I posted this yesterday, so now you can see the SH1T storm brewing in full view. We have quite a segue of events occurring globally simultaneously and rather uniquely. Keep a steady head, things are likely to escalate, expect volatility. And it's everything that I'm talking about. The bonds, the stock market, everything is poised upon an edge of a cliff. Benjamin Cohen mentioned about the treasury yields trending towards an inversion, okay? And if you have a look at this, the last time this occurred, when you get massive edges, the 80s, okay, when you had a massive recession. I mean, if you can't see what's coming down the line, I mean, we may be coming out of it, I don't know, after the printing of the pandemic. Of course, liquidity printed by the Fed during probably the next year, and the elections will probably be the saving grace of it all. But equally, it just kicks the can further down the road, doesn't it? And they're going to probably have to do the changeover of the systems under the guise of, I don't know, civil breakdown and rest, whatever you want to say. So there's a lot going on with that. These are two accounts that I follow, Benjamin Cohen. These are the Bitcoin analysts. And to be honest, I'm more of a bigger fan of Benjamin Cohen, very useful guy. But they both are Bitcoin analysts. Now, some of the best analysts in the world are on the Bitcoin chain, there's no doubt about it. And I look to their analysis of various markets to get a greater scope of our markets. These are the brains to look at. They haven't really permeated the XRP world yet. They will do in the future, I dare say. Anyhow, we'll cover more of these guys in the future. Also trending, this gentleman here, Stephen Neryev, obviously had been tweeting a lot with DAI, and they'd been uncovering a lot to do with the ETHgate scandal, and I think the hornet's nest has been kicked, because as you might know, DAI, this is Jimmy Vallet's channel, he's been posting some amazing stuff about free DAI. DAI, he got kicked off his channel on Twitter, and he had been covering close, varied stuff down to the line to do with, I think his account's still suspended. There we go. And he had over 300,000 followers. He was covering the ETHgate stuff very closely, and the connection to do with all the scumbags, dare I say that, involved with this corruption to do with the early investors in ETH and ICO dwellings. Oh my god, it's unbelievable. Anyway, Jimmy Valet has been covering it with these free DAI memes on there. Well worth a look. But at the far side of all this, we've talked about before the storm. We can see, this is what I talked about, in the Ripple Riddler video. He talks about the storm occurring in when. We can even look at it here. It's in the 10th month. We're in October. And how am I doing? Hold on. It's this video here. So this is the storm is coming, Ripple Riddler. If you want to watch this, do so in your own time. But equally, if you haven't seen this before, job done. I'm going to pause it now. It's a video to show that there is a kind of a drama coming to the way of the market and the greater kind of how would you put it? The world at large, I think. So calamities would raise enormous fears. I think it's to do with the traditional markets more than other things, but obviously geopolitical events affect the traditional markets. Anyhow, I don't know if you've seen this, but I'll just wait for this bloody advert to come through. I need to subscribe to the full one. So if you haven't very dramatic music. So the symbology of this, oh, interesting, I should pause it on the white segment. So the symbology of this is the new banker with his hands in the air, you know, reveling at the old system crumpling underneath itself and watching the storm as he's almost like the architect of the storm. And we talk about the storm, we can see the storm here in Bearable Guy's work as well. The ship coming out of the storm next April. Okay, and I know my connections with this pretty well, I think. I'm confident to say next April, we'll see anyway. Is the kind of the change of attitude towards with Ripple, but the old system will be left kind of, you know, having its unwinding itself. And, you know, how does the ship come out of the storm? It comes out of the storm like this, through these events. This and then this. We know what happens next. 1, 2, 3. We talk about a settlement or some sort of deal. We talk about, you know, a pause where everyone's what's going on, and then lift off. And this is the beginning of the, you know, the change of the turn of the tide for Ripple and the token XRP. And the charts are showing this as well. So we can see all the drama on the main stage. We can see that there's a lot of geopolitical events, and we also can see further down the line that there are better things to come, better days to come. And I only bring you in the first segment of this video the idea that there's a lot of volatility and upheaval coming socially in the world, to know that before things get better, things are likely to get a little worse. So in my tweet yesterday, keep a steady head, expect volatility for the next 12 months plus. You are not out of the woods by any margin of error, so don't get caught on the wrong side of the fence. Dollar cost average your way through, and at the far side of it you have this positive news. When you get Forbes, who's now, you know, posting very positive things about crypto, they've become a turncoat now and start posting positive news. BlackRock Insider primes crypto for a huge 17.7 trillion Wall Street earthquake that could be about to hit the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Now, 1, 2, 3, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, everything in threes. Anyhow, that should give you some very positive vibes for the future years. Keep nipping away slowly as the fear increases, as your targets come into line, and build your bags ready for the release of your bags at the top of the next cycle. Make your plans in the bear market. We'll do a video on this. Make your plans for your exits. Okay? This is the time when you're accumulating and you're planning your exits. What are your tax strategies? What are your residency strategies? What are you going to be cashing your crypto out into? What currency, what stable coin, and what platform? Have you prepared those platforms? Okay, these are things that I go out with my students and we go over very diligently, so people have got targets, they've got pairs that they're going to cash into, they've got exchanges that are ready to go, and they've connected their banks to them so they can cash into sterlings or dollars or whatever currency you want. But this is the time to make your plan, okay? And think long and hard. You know, have one bag that maybe goes off into 2030, and one bag that you can, you know, we call them shallow bags, that you want to let go along the way at certain valuations. Anyhow, something else to cover in another video. I'll leave this as is now, 20 minutes in, but come and say hi at my Twitter handle here at Ripples in Wales, and yeah, please like the video, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. Loads of you aren't subscribed. It doesn't cost anything, just hit the subscribe button. It massively helps the algorithm. And yeah, drop a comment. I reply to all the comments. All right, see you all in the next video. Have a great Sunday. Be blessed.